Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid, where we talk about all things Power Rangers, including the actors that play them. My name is Brandon.
My name is Lena.
And my name is Will.
And today we will be talking about DonBrothers episode 8. And we will be talking about Power Morphicon. Now, Power Morphicon has not happened as of today. But other things have happened. in terms of Power Morphicon development. So sit back, grab a drink, or get some food, whatever you want to do. And we're gonna give you a good show today. I think it's gonna be a pretty nice little show. It may not. We can talk, even though we have only 2 topics. We can talk.
Maybe
an hour. So maybe an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. So rest assured, we will be here with you for a good, solid, minimal an hour. Minimal.
A minimum, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna try. We're gonna try. We're gonna aim for that, right? But before we go ahead and continue on the show, I just would like to remind everybody we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Google Podcasts, we are on SoundCloud, we are on YouTube, we are everywhere where you listen to podcasts. So wherever you're listening, shout it out, let us know. And for all of our listeners who've been rocking with us all this time, thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate you. So don't ever think that we don't appreciate you, because we do. But if you are a new listener, please let us know. Let us know what you think of the show, and even let us know what you think right in the comment section. Like, let us know what you think. Engage with us. We love engagement. But before we go ahead and get into it, I would just literally like to say, personally, I'm just really excited to be able to talk with you guys every week. Lena and Will, I'm really just thankful that I can talk to y'all every week. I appreciate it. I just want to say
that. It is great. And I love that we constantly get comments, DMs, it's just on everything, on every platform, on everything. And it blows my mind, the fact that we are here today in this format, being able to do this, being able to get together once a week, make it part of our regular routine to get together once a week, to just chat with you guys about literally the nonsense of the world, but also the nonsense of our fandom, but also the nonsense within our lives.
And it is a lot of nonsense, girl. A lot of nonsense.
And the fact that you're all here for us every single freaking week, I'm still on cloud 9 about it. So, yes,
yeah.
Appreciate you guys. So thank you so much.
We really do thank you guys.
My God.
Seriously.
Brandon, August is coming up. That means we're on our 4th year.
And that's another reason why I wanted to bring that up, because our anniversary is coming. So if you have any ideas on how we should celebrate, let us know.
Guys, I can't believe it's been 4 years.
4 years, y'all.
Neither can I.
Holy shit.
4 years. I feel like Turbo. I feel like we should be graduating or something. I don't know.
It does feel like that. Oh my God, it does feel like that. Oh my God. This is so bizarre to think about that. I'm actually having a moment now that you put us in this little space where we're it's been 4 years. It's gonna be 4 years. Oh my God. Okay, quick story time. If you don't know how we started this podcast, we will tell you that right now, since we have a hell lot of time to chat with you guys today. Oh my God. For me, personally, It all started when Brandon and I were together in our hotel heading to our
Mm-hmm.
Power Morphicon event. I think it was like 2016 or 2018. I can't.
No, it was 2018.
2018. Okay.
Yeah.
We're just sitting there. We're just chilling. Brandon's doing his little thing as he always does. It's funny how, like, I love how we were so comfortable with each other that when we got back to our room, we would just do our own thing and not even like be concerned with each other and be like, yeah, you do you and I do me. And who's using the
Yeah. Yeah.
washroom? Like, cool. And I love that because, like, you know how they always say, like, something along the lines of, like, when you have a sleepover with your friends, it really goes to show whether or not your friendship is gonna last, kind of thing. I'm not sure you guys heard about that, where like you can be friends forever, but the moment you guys have an overnight trip, that's when it determines whether or not your friendship is strong enough to last. Because I guess like I guess what they're trying to say is that, like, when we are in our downtime, because we can't always be on like 24/7 kind of thing, right? But I guess
Right.
in your downtime, that when it kind of goes to show you your, obviously, your routine, like your bathroom habits, your morning habits, your whatever habits, right? And then like, and I guess for some people, they can deal, like they can manage to coexist with another person, but some people just absolutely
They're
like,
like,
nope,
absolutely not. It's like,
exactly,
oh
absolutely not.
no.
Like, and the fact that you and I don't even hang out all the time because we're not even in the same country, but we
Right.
were like, I don't know. I just love that. Like, our bond was just like, yeah, like we didn't even have to speak about it. It was just sort of like, this is us, and we already knew it, and we were already comfortable, and I love that. It was amazing. But anyways, I remember Brandon going, so I'm like, yeah, what's up? It's like, so I'm thinking about starting a podcast, and I'm like, oh. My eyes are lit up, my ears are open. I'm like a little dog. I'm ready for that treat. Tell me more. Tell me more.
No, and like that's the thing, because like Lena said, it was just like one of those things where it was just like a light bulb. It just popped on and was like, ding, like, girl, like, that would be a good idea. And I was like, Lena, like, I'm thinking about doing this podcast. Like, what do you think? And it was just like, that is a great idea. And I'm just like, because the thing was, it was just like the main reason, and just like I explained to Lena, the main reason why I wanted to start this is because so often I have seen on social media, I'm sure all of us have seen on social media, where people constantly are like, I wonder what this person is doing. Oh, this person is in this. I didn't even know that. Or, oh, this person is doing this. I forgot about them since they were on Power and just like umpteen years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, we know of these actors while they're on the show, but no one really knows what they're doing after. Or hell,
Exactly.
sometimes even before.
Yeah.
Because the girls love to try to play them, especially when they don't do something that they don't like. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden it becomes Power Rangers made you, and you know all this
Oh
stuff. And
God,
it's
I hate
like,
that.
let's not do that, because some of these people already had careers before they even got on the show. So don't even try that. You know. But it's just one of those things where I was just like, you know what? I would love to just start something like this, just to really have a safe space to showcase the actors. Because, obviously there's plenty of pages out there that showcases them while they're on the show. But it's like a lot of them, not even some of them, a lot of them have careers that are flourishing right now, whether it's in acting or they have their own businesses, or you know what I'm saying? Like they're just flourishing. And it's like nobody knows about it. Like nobody knows. Who would have ever thought that um Allison Armstrong, right? The one girl who plays Sydney in SPD. Who would have thought that
She become a wedding planner,
she'd be a wedding planner
and she's
and
so
she'd have her
good
own
at it.
business? And it's huge.
It's
It's a
huge.
huge business.
She does celebrities and stuff, and like she has this beautiful aesthetic. I'm just like, girl, how do you upkeep that? She is.
Exactly.
She's gold. Gold.
Like, who would have thought that she's doing that? But people would never know that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I'm just like, I wanted to build a platform where it's like everybody finds out about all this stuff and it's like, oh my gosh, I can still, find out what she's doing and still support her that way, or I can find out what he's doing and support him that way and just continue it from there. Because to me personally, why should the fandom and the appreciation and the support stop just because you're off my favorite show? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying stalk them. I'm definitely not saying that. But, at least still show that support. You know what I'm saying? So I've always just wanted, I had that idea and I was like, you know what? That would be a great thing to do. So, thought about it and was like, hey, Lena, like, let's do this. Lena was like, absolutely. And I was like, you know what? It would be cool to have a third person.
Yeah.
And she was like, who do you have in mind? And I was like, I have somebody. And I hit Will like literally when I said it. I'm like, I have somebody. Will, do you want to do this? And Will was like, yes. I was like, ha, yes.
Done.
3 of us. Let's do this.
Yeah. And till this day, we both have yet to meet Will in real life.
In real life, even though I've known this man for 10 years. But have not ever met him, but known him for 10 years.
Right?
So...
Oh my God. So what are the chances that like the 3 of us get along so well and have enough to chat about every freaking week, sometimes every day, heck. I remember during the pandemic, it was constantly all day, every day, because we had all the time in the world.
I mean, we were literally during the pandemic pumping out like 2 and 3 episodes.
Yes.
Like every week.
Yeah.
Like it was insane. Like that's how come like y'all had so much content during the pandemic.
Right.
Yep.
Because we kept giving y'all all the content. So, like, thank you all. Like I said before, I can't stress it enough. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. Like,
so much.
Y'all have no idea how much we appreciate you and how much we thank you all. Like, how much we just appreciate you guys. Like, it's just thank you.
Right.
But
Will,
things we don't appreciate.
Wait, hold on. Did Will have anything to say before we move on?
Yeah, I remember pretty vividly when you messaged me about doing a podcast because oh man, like I have been flirting with that idea of a podcast or like a YouTube thing just to, talk about my thoughts on some of the things that I like. So that gave me like the kick in the butt to actually do it. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I didn't expect to be able to talk at length with actors from the show. Like I've met a lot of them over the years, over the last decade or so, but to actually get the opportunity to speak to them is just crazy. Like it's so cool, and then to meet people that actually like listen to the show. Like I don't think that that's ever going to like. I'm never going to like.
I'm so jealous.
Believe that. That's so cool.
I know. I'm so jealous that you actually have the opportunity to do that. Like Brenda and I have yet to be able to head out to any of the conventions and like really meet people in real life too. And so it's just like every time you tell us your experience, I'm just so blown away. I'm just like, wait, people actually know us? Like, I think I'm still like blown away by the fact that Worry knows who we are. Like, I'm like, wait, what?
Right.
Like, he knows us? What the actual shit? Devon. Ow!
Devon.
Man, like, I've never met this man, but I'm already like, you are fantastic. Fantastic. You don't understand. Like it is absolutely, and I'm so jealous that Will has been able to do that. Like I wish Brent and I will one day be able to do that and, meet you guys in real life, in real person, and like actually be able to chat and hear all about, whatever you want to tell us. Like, it's just so bizarrely jealous that Will got to do that. And it still blows my mind. I love it. I absolutely love it. Like the fact that other Rangers know who we are, that we have never even met in real life.
Right. The fact that it's like, I know who you are. Like, it's like, thank you. Like, that's wild. Like, it's really freaking cool. And the thing and the gag is what's so freaking cool about it is just the fact that it's like it means that our work doesn't go unnoticed. I forget how you word it, how the saying goes, but it's like you never know who's watching.
Yes.
And it's like you genuinely don't know because we post literally like several things like all the time. Like we're always constantly posting and we're always showcasing people's work, outside of Power Rangers and everything. And we don't know if they see it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know if they see it. We don't know if they even care that we're even showcasing it. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know. But the fact that, people see it and they're like, oh wow, like you actually showcased my stuff and I remember that. It means to me that we're doing a good job and that they actually do appreciate it. Because the way that it sounds to me when he mentioned that he knew who we were, it didn't sound like a bad thing.
No, absolutely
It didn't
not.
sound like a bad thing at all.
I would
So
hope
I love
not.
it.
At least I would hope not, because we don't gossip here. Like, obviously you ladies know we gossip to a certain extent, as we do, but we try to keep it real with real facts and evidence.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We always try to, and that's the thing. Like, we always try to make sure that we have the evidence. Make sure we have all of the tea. We make sure we have all of our ducks lined in a row. We have all of our I's dotted and our T's crossed before we we start dishing out information because we don't want to be out in these streets, saying wrong stuff. We don't want that. But wrong stuff has been going around as of lately.
Yeah.
Wrong stuff has been going around. Speaking of,
That's not funny.
it's not funny. It's not, but it's wrong. Like that's the best way to describe it. It's just wrong.
His Will's cackling for me. It's not funny, but
it is wrong.
It
but it's
it is.
So if you don't know what wrong thing we're talking about, we are talking about the Power Morphin Con debacle. That is happening. So, well, that was happening, but it seems like it's under control as of now.
Okay, do tell. What is the tea? What is the update? And I guess where are we at?
So here's the deal for the people in the back who don't really know what the devil is going on, right? So randomly on Wednesday, I'm gonna set the scene for you. So randomly, when I say randomly, I mean literally randomly. Randomly,
like, as random as when Amy Jo decided to make that random tweet on that Thursday night.
Okay, on a random Thursday night, but this one's on a random Wednesday morning. We get a DM from one of our friends, Andrew, over at the Morphin Grid. Shout out to Andrew. We get a little DM, and this mug bust out talking about PSA for Power Morphicon attendees. Danger. And I mean, it's in yellow, which I'm like, first of all, yellow is a cute color. Like, why are y'all using this color for the background? Like, don't do that. But, it's like danger. So everybody's like, ooh. So I'm like, all right, what's going on? What's going on? What's the tea? So it's like four different posts, but it's all like one thing. So on this next one, it goes to anyone attending Power Morphicon in August 2022. Please keep an eye out for Gabriel Garcia, a far-right extremist who has made a handful of threats via Twitter to con attendees. The wording and rhetoric used in these tweets is consistent with that of mass shooters. So he has like a whole list of tweets about him, talking about libertards and how they've overturned gun control and overturned abortion, how he's going to put the liberals in their place, and he's going to do his part to go to PMC, and he's going to let some of his some liberal ex-friends of his let them know their place. And he's like, oh, those libertards fucked around with me, so they'll find out at Power Morphicon. I mean, just making a whole bunch of threats, child. So then he goes on to say, then the post goes on to say, while these could be very well empty threats, given the state of affairs in America with gun violence and mass shootings, it is important that we take threats like this as serious as possible. Power Morphicon staff has already been made aware of this individual. However, it is important that this information is shared with as many attendees as possible. Please share with anyone you know who may be attending this event. So, thoughts?
My first thought was, what the actual F is happening? Like, as if, I hate to say it, but as if America couldn't get any worse. We are now facing threat in our own community, in a place where we thought we all mutually understood the rules. We all mutually understood the common courtesy for one another. And bottom line is, like, this is a Power Ranger fandom. Isn't the whole idea is to not bring violence? It's supposed to, do the Rangerly thing, like where we're nice to each other, where we are courteous to each other, like all the good stuff, right? But this is not Rangerly, my guy. Like, no one wants you at PMC. Get out of here.
I agree 100%, like 110%, 120%. I just damn it agree. I agree. Child. Will, what you think?
God. I'm just I don't understand people like this. I don't understand how you can think that just mass violence is the way to go when you don't agree with someone with somebody else. Especially just civilians. And then to want to do this at a convention that's supposed to be, a bunch of fun for Power Rangers fans and nerds. Like I just don't get it. And then when we hear about people who have views like this, or they're misogynist, racist, it's like it goes against everything that we've learned from this show, so it just doesn't make any sense. But these people don't have they have screws loose, so I guess that's it's just a lot. And I'm just tired of things like this happening, because we're really in a time where you can go out to the grocery store or out for a walk or to a church and be gunned down. And it's just like
Mm-hmm.
it's just too much. Like I just now we gotta worry about this at our damn convention.
Yeah. Yeah. Here is here's the thing for me, right? Here's the thing for me. So it spread like wildfire on Twitter. And, rightfully so, because, this is something that is scary. This is something that is, it's like, oh my God, like, I could potentially be in danger should I, attend this event because, you know, what, what could happen? Like, this could easily go left. Um, Here's what I'll say to this. For that young man and people who think like him, it's it's unfortunate, right? Because let's not even talk about just Power Rangers in general, right? Like just Power Rangers aside. Whatever you so-called claim that these friends of yours or people that you are so upset with, these people, like, what did these people do to make you that angry? Like, what did they say? Because my thing is, there is nothing in the world, at least for me, that anyone could ever say, like verbally say to me, where I want to take your life. And not just one person, multiple, because he's talking about multiple people. So, what is it in your head that is literally saying, I need to go out and, go out and just start gunning people down because they don't agree with how I think? First of all, let's be very clear. And I'm about to say something that, that may sound a little crass. Who the fuck are you? Plain and simple. Straight out the cuff. Who the fuck are you? A, that you can say that you have the ability to be able to gun someone down or think you have the ability to take someone's life just because they don't agree with how you think. Like, to me, there is something wrong. There's something just wrong with that ideology by itself. There's something wrong with that, which also shows me that more than likely there is something wrong with that individual, right? That's A. B, you've been saying this around a fandom, which, love it or hate it, we are some anxiety filled people. So when you start saying things like that, automatically it's going to spread like wildfire before you could even do anything. Before you could even think to do anything, it's going to spread. So I don't know whether he thought that, oh, if I make these threats or something, it's gonna, whatever, I'm gonna let them know that I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna be able to do it. Like, I don't know what he thought was gonna happen by making these threats. And once again, they could have been idle threats. Could have easily could have been just idle threats, just him just having an angry moment on Twitter and just saying some wild shit. Could have been. Could have been. But at the end of the day, like, you can't say that in this fandom without it spreading and then now creating an anxiety filled atmosphere where now people are afraid to actually go to the event out of fear of being hurt. That is what I will say to this side of it, right? Now, mind you, in these separate posts, in this, well, it's not separate posts, but in this one thread, um, they did say that Power Morpha Khan did know about this said individual saying the things that he said and, and making the threats that he made, right? So, of course, once again, like I said, it spread like wildfire. It wasn't for me the thing of him doing and saying what he did, saying what he was going to do. It wasn't that got me. Let me know what you all think, because I have my opinion on this part, but I just want to get you guys' idea and you guys' thoughts. Where does the advocacy stop? Where should it stop and start? Because for the people out there who are advocating on their friends' behalf and being like, oh, or advocating on their behalf, on being like, oh, we need to set some boundaries in place. We need to do this, we need to do that. And we need to create a safe space for us as con attendees. Where does that advocacy start and stop? Because there has been there's been a bunch of, I'm not gonna say a bunch, but there's been a good bit of people who in their advocacy have been antagonizing PMC, namely Scott, and consistently DMing him about this situation and demanding an answer before he could even get an answer out.
Mm-hmm.
And before he could even get an answer, he's like, we're working on it. Give us some time. Give us a little bit of time. Instantly, that's not good enough. Where does the advocacy stop and start? Like, how should people be running this? Like, what are you guys' thoughts on this? Like, what do you think? How do you think people should advocate on their behalf without actually trying to, make things worse, per se?
Okay. I'm going to go back to what Will said earlier, where he's like, I could be going to the grocery store and still be gunned down. So I feel like, personally, we need to all take a step back. We need to take a breather. Because Scott is only one person. And yes, he's been made aware of what's happening. But at the same time, he can't secure your safety from where you're coming from to where you are going to go. So, for example, I'm coming from Canada. Let's say if I was going, I unfortunately will not be attending this year. Not because of what's happening, just personal reasons. But bottom line is what I'm trying to say is like, here's a perfect example. People know who we are. People know who the three of us are because we have built a platform for ourselves. Let's say I get into California and I'm here a couple days earlier and I want to walk around, do my thing or check out different places. And this person happens to be around and recognizes us or recognizes me. Who's to say that he can't harm me while I'm not even at the event?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you can't even I get so there's that, right? So it's obviously when it comes to Scott, he can only do what he can, and he's trying to work it out. He's trying to figure it out. But for us to be hounding at his door for an answer is not the answer. This is chaotic, and this is where more incidents can happen, and it does not need to happen. This is where this is what this person wants to do. They want to create a diversion, and they already successfully done it.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. And
that's a good point.
It doesn't have to be that way. Like, why are we going, well, I'm not attending anymore because it's not good enough? Or, well, if I attend, well, how can you? No one, not even Scott, can promise your life. And that's the honest truth. Because when Will said that, it hit me because it's true. You can literally, unfortunately, be harmed anywhere, not just Power Morphicon. So it's like for you to be hounding on his door, being like, yo, well, give us a better answer. Well, he can't because he hasn't even wrapped his head around it. The only thing you can do for yourself that will help you and your personal being is decide what you want to do and how you're going to protect yourself. And I think that's a good start instead of trying to put all the ownership on somebody else because no one can secure your own, not even you can secure your own safety because you don't know what's going to happen unless you stay indoor all the time and not go out. That, I guess, that's a possibility. But even then, it could be an apartment fire or it could be a house fire. Bottom line is, life is too short for us to be concerned about this. All we can do is secure ourselves, make a plan for ourselves that we feel most secure, most confident in. And I think that's the good start. Like, look within ourselves first. Talk to yourself. Do you think mentally you can handle attending a convention like this with all the threats happening? And that's real talk. I'm not saying like, oh, because you shouldn't go because of it. I'm not saying that. Like, again, I just want to remind you, I'm not going not because of this event. I have decided for my own personal reasons, I'm not going to go. But if I was to go, to be honest with you, due to my anxieties, I probably won't be attending because that's a lot for me. For me to think, okay, I'm going to fly out there and I'll be there for a couple of days and I'm not going to be home. So if something happens to me, like I'm not near home, I'm not near my family, right? That's me personally. So if I was attending, I most likely, honestly, probably won't be attending. I'll be completely honest with you. And that's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying I'm not I'm not saying you should do the same, but that will be my comfort level for me to realize, okay, you know what? I don't think I can handle that. I don't think I can handle the stress. I don't think I can handle looking over my shoulder because as much as I love the platform we're on, I have also made myself known to the public, to our community. So it's not like I could be anonymous and, no one knows who we are, kind of thing.
Right.
So that's the start. So that's looking at me, looking at myself, looking at where I am in my life. And I'm realizing, okay, we amazingly built a nice platform for ourselves where we do have people that know who we are, where people do recognize who we are, So would I want to attend something like this where I may possibly put a target on my back because, let's say this person doesn't even know I'm not even American, doesn't even know that like I'm in a position where, hey, I'm a woman, and guess what? I'm in a country where I don't have to have the I was sorry, how do I phrase? I have the choice of an abortion. I have the choice of whether or not I want to have an abortion. So I'm in a very fortunate position. I'm not in a position where, unfortunately, a lot of my American fellow friends are in. So like he won't know that. He doesn't even know I'm not even a liberal. I don't even know what a liberal is. I don't even follow politics. And I'm not saying this to sound ignorant, but that is the honest truth because you know why? Politics gives me anxiety. So I have also looked in within myself and realized, you know what? I can't follow stuff like this. I will follow the big news, but I'm not going to follow the individual. He said, she said, this is what they believe, this is what they believe, because that's too much for me. So I make decisions in my life to not consume myself and stuff like that, So again, for me personally, I feel like it goes back to look within yourself and make a decision that you feel the most confident in instead of putting the ownership on somebody else because nobody, not even yourself, can secure your own life. But what we can do is do the best we can within our ability to ensure that we hopefully see another day.
All right.
Well,
I
girl,
think that
yes, you did that. You ate that.
I think that Scott, like people were asking for him to give a response like right after the news broke, and that's not really fair to him because he's got to like look into the threats, look into the person, can contact the authorities and stuff. I think it was good that he acknowledged it and let people know that he was looking into it. And I thought he did it in a timely manner. But also just have the faith in the people that have been doing this convention for all this time that they're not going to just be all willy-nilly with the situation and allow that person in, obviously he's going to take care of it. So I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, here's the thing. And I want to be extremely transparent when I say this. I'm not going to say too much because Lena basically said all that there needs to be said, honey. So I'm not, what I need to say ain't even going to be half of that because she didn't already gave us beats and everything, honey. She gave it all. However, what I will say is, and to follow up your point, Will, in order, this is a big thing. We are talking about someone who is talking about doing a mass shooting. Okay? Like, obviously, they're taking this seriously. So all of the conversation and all of the tweets and all of the statuses and the Instagram posts and all this stuff about, oh, they don't care. They only care about money. They don't care about the attendees. Stop it. Stop it. Full stop. Because just like you said, it's unfair to require him to automatically have this expectation that Scott is supposed to have an answer immediately time they found out about this situation. It is completely unfair and it is absolutely absurd to think that they're going to have an answer that fast. Stop. You are, for people who, and that's why I said I wanted to be very specific about advocacy. Because for the people in the back who are sitting here being like, I want to advocate for my friends who are going, and I want to make sure that they're safe. And this is specifically for you. Have some tact when you do it. Have some tact, have some respect, and know what you're talking about. Because a lot of y'all, as I said before, are sitting here beating down Scott's door like, you need to tell us something. You need to tell us something now. First of all, for the people in the back, and I need y'all to hear me clear. If you're not going, shut the fuck up. You should not be talking as loud as the people who are actually going. The people who are actually going are the ones who I feel personally should be the most anxious. But if you had no intention of going, why are you barking so loud? You will be fine. You will be at home. I'm not saying you can't advocate for your friends. I'm not saying you shouldn't have an opinion. I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is you doing all of this barking and you doing all of this ray rah rah. What you're doing is you are inciting a lot more anxiety and a lot more fear than what old dude did. You're literally doing the work for him. Now you have a whole bunch of con attendees terrified to leave their house and go to this con thinking that they may be hurt, all because you think, quote unquote, I'm doing the right thing by raising all of this awareness and doing all of this, all this parading around and doing all this extra ray rah rah. You think you're doing something good and you're not. When in actuality, you are making things 10 times worse than what they already are. I need for some of y'all especially some of y'all with these big platforms, to realize when to shut the fuck up. When to advocate and be like, hey, you know what? This is a good, I'll say what I need to say and leave it there. Instead of constantly trying to, well, they need to do this and they need to do that, and they don't care, and they don't. Shut up. Because now what you're doing is you are making the followers, the people who follow you, you are making them afraid. You are making them scared. So now, no matter what Scott says, it's not going to be good enough, because now you've instilled in their heads now that their safety is not important.
Mm-hmm.
When that is not true. That's not true. Scott literally came out and said, hey, I got it. We know about it. Thank you for telling me. We know about it. We're working on it. One person I literally saw say, that's not good enough for me. If what he should have said was X, Y, and Z. And then when somebody in the comment section literally was like, too. Yeah, somebody in the comment section was like, yo, like, I mean, he can't say anything. And that's another thing too, which I'm gonna touch on in a second. But he's like, he can't say anything. This is an investigation. He can't say anything. Well, then why would he say anything to begin with? It's like, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. Do you see what I'm saying? Even if he didn't say anything, they were gonna make these comments. If he didn't say anything, he said the thing. People still are making comments. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. And it's like, and that's where I feel like the advocacy part then becomes, you're doing too much. And now it feels like it's now becoming all about you. You're not advocating about your friends anymore. This is about you expressing your opinion and your disdain on how certain things are being handled. You're not advocating anymore. This is about, you made this about you. And that is where I'm like, where does the advocacy start and where does it end? Now, what were you going to say, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say that it's dangerous to spread like and oh God, I hate using this because this is like way overused, this narrative of what you feel like a person is, or how they feel about something. And then you have a platform, so you have people that are following you, like you mentioned, that are now going to believe this and potentially spread it around as well. And it, like what you're saying, is just not true, and
it's fear mongering,
and it's not fair. Yeah. So like it's people. I'm so tired of people. Like I just like
and the thing is, just to even go a little bit further, and I touched on this, but I just want to go just even a little bit further. When there is any type of situation like this, specifically, this tier of level of violence, when someone is inciting this kind of violent activity, this escapes the police hands at this point. We are now talking about federal investigations. This is now dealing with the FBI. Okay? Like, I need y'all to understand the gravity and the severity of this situation. I need y'all to really hang with me here, because I know some of y'all, this may go over some of y'all heads, because for some of y'all aren't getting it. So I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. When you dealing with stuff like this, the police is nowhere. Like, yes, the police is always going to be involved, but this is above their pay grade now. We're talking about the big dogs. We are talking about the FBI. So when Scott literally said, I will let you guys know when I can, that is literally basically him saying, I can't say anything right now because I will impede their investigation if I do. I need y'all to be, I need y'all, and hear me when I say this, I need you to be content with not knowing everything right away. I need you to be content with not knowing everything right away. I understand you're scared. I understand you're anxious. I get it. I live here. I live in LA. I'm literally not too far from Pasadena. So I get it. I'm surrounded by like this kind of stuff all the time. Like, I don't know whether y'all know about LA, but we could like I literally my actual job, literally there's always something happening on the boulevard, like all the time. So I'm constantly surrounded by violence. Not saying that I'm desensitized to it, but I get it. So I understand that there is always a high amount of anxiety all the time. You may not experience it in your daily life, which that may be a reason why some of y'all are like, going nuts right now, which I understand. So don't think that I'm not having any compassion or empathy. I completely understand. I really do. But you have to understand and be content with not knowing everything right away. When Scott said, "I got it under control," and that we're going to do what we have to do, that should have been the end of the argument. That should have been the end of it right there. But for some of you who don't know who either don't know how things work or just like to hear yourselves talk and just like to you know, say dumb stuff, you're literally, like I said, making your followers scared because you don't know when to shut up. Because that should have been the end of the conversation right there. As soon as he said, "I will report you, I will let you know everything when I can." And let's be very clear, we're still in July. At the point of this recording, and when all of this was happening, this is July. We're not even in August yet. We're not even in the month of the con yet. And you already got people being like, well, they need to let us know. Listen, they're doing the best they can. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to have everything set up way before the con even happens. So I am not afraid of, what could happen, or, I am not, well, let me rephrase that. I am not worried that they're not going to have security measures, or they're not going to, make sure that things are going to be on the up and up when we get there. Now, going ahead and just moving further along. So Scott finally did address the whole situation, right? So the official Power of Con convention sent out a message basically saying, "We are serious about threats that have been made and have taken action by contacting the authorities. With permission with the Pasadena Police and the FBI, we make this statement. Both entities are diligently addressing and acting on the situation with an active investigation on the individual. With added security measures in place as well as police presence all days of the event, PMC plans to continue with safety being our priority. We value your experience and appreciate your patience. Our event will continue as normal and will be a great and positive experience for everyone. We look forward to seeing everyone and enjoying what we promise will be a fantastic and safe event." So, there you have it. After badgering Scott for 24 hours, when all you had to do was literally wait a day and a half, a day and some change, you got what you wanted. And that's all you had to do. And was just sit there and shut up.
Right. And what I don't get is like, it was literally a day. Honestly, I wasn't even bothered by when I saw it. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw this was happening, it did hit me. I'm like, wow, like that's a little scary. But I'm like, you know what? It's fine. We're not even in August yet, just like Brendan said. We're not even there yet. Like August, I mean, even if we do get August, it's not gonna happen to the end of the month. That's like plenty of time for them to have come up with an action plan to do what they're gonna do. Like honestly, I wasn't even concerned. But like, it does go back to what I said earlier. You need to reflect on who you are as a person and decide for yourself.
Yeah.
Like this, obviously, if this is the kind of chaos that you're gonna bring into your life over 24 hours, maybe this is not the event for you to this year.
I agree.
Just a thought.
I agree with you 100%.
You
I
know?
agree.
There's always a few years from now, because I know they do this every 2 years. There's always conventions we can attend to. It's just, if it's not the time for you now, it is not the time. Like having that fear of missing out. You know what would you what do you value more? Fear of missing out or your life? Your lives.
Or the fear of, whatever happening, because
Exactly.
like you said before, like, why are you going to go and you have all this fear and anxiety
Oh,
about something happening to you while you're there?
exactly. Like
Like, that's defeating the purpose.
you're not gonna be able to enjoy yourself.
You're not going to be able to enjoy yourself.
Like, so why? Why bother?
Exactly.
Nah, people sometimes, man, just I just really don't get it.
I
That's
don't either.
that like it it is bizarre how quick we are to jump to things.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. I mean, at the end of the day, it still goes back to the fact we don't stand with what's happening with the whole abortion and the overturn of gun. What was the thing? It was like overturn of
What is it? Gun reform, I believe.
yeah. What's gun
Mhm.
reform? What does that mean? I'm sorry. I know I sound silly when I ask that, but
So no, you're fine. So basically, we were trying to um basically instill harsher gun laws.
ah,
Hell, even try to like reform guns in general
I
in
mean,
this country, because
I agree.
literally anyone can buy a gun, like
Oh,
buy and brandish a gun.
Mhm.
oh
And no matter what your psyche is, or no matter what your mental capacity is, you could own a gun, and
no,
it's extremely easy to access one.
that's
And yeah, they were trying to create, gun reform laws to basically either make it harder or take away guns altogether. And that wasn't passed.
I mean, here's a little secret. We have very harsh gun laws here, and we're doing perfectly fine. We don't shoot our neighbors.
A lot of people, a lot of different countries do.
Well, I guess I'm using Canada because we're right next door to you guys, and people always
Hmm.
think that, like, because obviously, I mean, let's be fair. Most of America thought Europe was a country, so yeah. So I'm just
Listen,
saying.
I can't confirm or deny that Americans as a whole are smart people. We once were.
Mhm.
We once were at one point. But the education system has failed us.
Yeah, that's just it,
So,
and that's just I don't blame America for not knowing it. You know what I mean? But it's
I
more
do.
of like it's more of like this kind of goes back to a whole cult like situation, or the whole um what is it called when like you're only like being fed a certain thing, so like you tend to believe it because that's all
Mhm.
you know. And like I get that.
Brainwashing.
Yeah, like I'm not against that, right? But like, but I am glad that there is people like yourselves and many other people that have left America and have experienced different culture and know that there's more out there in life than just let's make America great again concept.
Ooh, child. Which already has different connotations and meanings on its own, but we're not gonna go there.
Exactly. But yeah. Okay, so that's so they didn't pass on actually making more harsher gun laws, or was it more of like just so I understand?
So it was basically, from my understanding, it was amended. So like they were able to, if I'm not mistaken, the actual gun reform law wasn't passed, but I believe Biden it did try to make something where it was like it is a little more difficult, but still people can still own guns. But it wasn't, but I believe like the actual I think they added like a couple of more things just to make it a little more difficult for people to be able to acquire them.
Mhm.
So I mean they were
Yeah.
unsuccessful in actually reforming it, but at least they're trying to make sure that like certain people who, can like they're basically saying like not everybody can just go up to a gun store and be like, hey, I want to buy a gun today. And they're like, all right, sure, here you go. Like, they're making it to where it's like you can't do that.
No, which is good. I feel like that should be the case, and I feel like they should go through extensive like um evaluations to ensure that they are in the rightful minds to own a gun for the right purpose, because like for us
Right.
here, I'm not saying we're angels. Obviously people can still get their hands on
Of course.
illegal guns here, right? But I find that like
Yeah.
you need to have a license to have it. You need like, and you have to like kind of like specify what purpose. So obviously people have it here for hunting purposes. Um, and obviously if they are people in uniform, they'll have it. So like you need to actually have. We are pretty strict on that, which is great. I'm not complaining, right? But like, and oh my god, so really bizarre. Okay, I was talking to someone, and we were obviously having a very similar conversation to this, where he's obviously for like having guns, and I'm like kind of like against it, obviously. But we both mutually agree that like at the end of the day, as long as they have very strict laws, it should be okay, which I'm okay with too. Um, I was saying like part of my argument was like, well, people have access to it, therefore it creates a lot more incidents unfortunately in America it has become normalized. Like for example, like school shootings. It's normalized in a way that like I think I was talking to my sister and she was saying how someone mentioned, oh well, no one got shot, so it was fine. But it's like, well, what do you mean? Like no one should be at school with a gun to begin with. It's not, oh, because no one got hurt, that is fine. Like that should not be the sentence that's coming out of your mouth, you know?
Right.
Anyways, to further prove my case, I was like, we rarely like for us, like school shooting is not a thing. It is absolutely not a thing. We don't we even have like lockdowns. We even have preparations for just in case an intruder, not even someone with a gun, an intruder was to enter our school. What do we do, right? But anyways, furthermore, I Google search how many school shootings there is in Canada. Now, obviously, Wikipedia isn't entirely updated or like 1,000% like accurate. Okay, I'm putting that disclaimer out there. I know that. I'm aware of that. However, I was very, very, very surprised that there was only 8 school shooting listed in Wikipedia for all of Canada, and majority of them happened in the early 90s, while there was only 3 that happened more recently, but spread
Not
out
a surprise. Not a
like
surprise
20.
at
Yeah,
all.
like I was a little surprised because I was surprised that like I was surprised in the sense that like wow, like I didn't think there was any personally, but I was very surprised that there was even as many as there was. But I was more shocked that there was more in the early 90s versus I think there was like 2 or 3 of them that happened more. When I say recently, I mean in the 2000 era, like like 2004, 2016 kind of era. Not but yeah, so I was surprised there wasn't even any, but I was also proud that there was only so little that having school shootings is not normalized. That's not a normal thing we talk about. Like it's definitely not that. And I think then the other thing I was thinking about too was that I think someone said something about wow, like that is so great that gay marriage was finally a thing in America. And I was like, really? Like that has always been a thing for us. Like we have been very well in advance in that aspect. So I don't know why that should be celebrated in a sense that like it was so late to the game. And now you guys are going backwards, right? So I'm like, we should have
Yeah.
always been like like it should have always been accepted. Like it should always have been normalized. Like with us, where like I remember thinking as young as I think even like grade 8, I gay marriages, same-sex marriages has always been a norm for us, and I've never thought that was any different. But then I think obviously as I got older and I learned more about America, I'm like, oh, you mean you guys still can't have that in America? What? That's bizarre to me because I'm like, what? We've always had that. Like that's well, what I mean always, I mean it obviously as far back I could always remember, it's always been normalized, right? That it's like it's great, it's a thing. Like we don't discriminate in that aspect, right? So there's just so many things that I'm like, wow, I'm grateful for the country I'm in and the fact that we were strict on what we need to be, but we were open on where we need to be too, if that makes any sense. But yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Will, no, I thought Will was gonna go next. Did you have something you want to say?
Um, so I think that oh gosh, it's really telling for people when we have so many mass shootings. Like, come on now, like when it's happening in schools, like I read some statistics after one of the most recent ones. And like just really quick, I'm completely desensitized to school shootings at this point because they happen so damn often.
But see, that's
But
exactly,
like,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah, that's ridiculous. Like what?
like
Like that doesn't.
that should not be your childhood. That should not be your life.
No, not at all. And like there's been since like the big one here, of course, was back in 98 or 99, the Columbine shooting. But since then, there has been so many, like hundreds of them in the last 20 years compared to other countries where like you barely see anything like that because they have strict gun laws to keep people safe. And now, oh my God. So when the safety of children is like that's the conversation, and you are more concerned with, oh, you're trying to take away my guns. Like, if anything, like people are trying to just have like you guys were saying before, just have stricter laws where it's not so easy to get them for people that have mental disabilities, or they're just not in the state to own a fucking gun. So they so that we can't have these things happen. Like it's all for protection, like really. And the fact that people are just they're so concerned with themselves more so than these babies that are being murdered and that will be murdered in the near future. As we're talking about this right now, there's going to be another who
Yeah,
knows how many school shootings with more children fucking dying.
yeah,
But
yeah,
what else was I gonna say? Oh goodness gracious. It's just, and then oh my god, and then like there's some places that want to now give uh the teachers guns.
yeah,
What
I've
what
heard
the
about
hell
that.
kind of environment? What kind of environment is that going to bring about? How is that going to make kids feel safe? We got to remember teachers are still human beings, and just because you're a teacher doesn't mean that you're a good person or a good teacher. So like that there will be people that are going to intimidate children too. And then like it's just like what, like are we going to hear about a teacher shooting a kid? Like if this is passed, which I don't think, I want to say I don't think it will be, but like the way that shit has been going the last couple of years, I have no idea honestly. So it's just I don't know. I just don't know anymore. Like I don't
yeah,
know anymore.
yeah. And it's just one of those things, honestly, to piggyback off of what you all have been saying. It's just one of those things where it's just like we've gotten, I feel as a culture, as an American culture, and you use the right word, Will, we've become so desensitized to everything that's been happening. And I feel for some of us, I feel like there's a parallel here. Some of us has become extremely desensitized, and then some of us have become overly anxious and have very high anxiety because of it now. So you're living with two parallels now, to where it's like one is super super anxious and the other one is just like, child, it's just Tuesday. Like we don't even, we're just so over it now. It's just like, okay, whatever. And it's to the point now where it's like, how do we come to an agreement? How do we come to a center, a even place? How do we get to the middle where everybody feels safe, everybody feels secure, everybody feels like, hey, I can be at X, Y, and Z, or I can be at a place, I could be, somewhere where I don't have to necessarily feel like, oh, my life is going to be in danger. Oh, if I go here or, whatever, I might end up getting hurt, or, whatever the case may be. How are we going to get to that place where everybody feels safe? And unfortunately, I feel like with just the way that this country has been ran all this time, because honestly, I've always been like anti-gun laws anyway, like anti-guns. I always have been. I personally don't see the purpose. I've seen and had way too many people I know be lost by guns.
Same.
Had their lives taken by guns. Like, it's just, I have a sheer hatred for guns. Period. Like, point blank, period. I fucking hate them. So, me personally, I can, whatever, if they were to say literally tomorrow, nobody can own a gun, I would probably run through the streets butt ass naked and dance the Brand New Day from the Wiz. I promise you, because it is just one of those things where, like, I hate guns just that much. But the thing we have to remember, and I hate to bring this song up because I hate it at this point, but like Beyonce said, y'all, you won't break my soul.
Wow.
You won't break my soul. Like, I need y'all to get to this place of just, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but we have to get to a place where we are content and we are happy within ourselves. And we automatically, despite the mess that is going on around us, despite everything that's happening, find the joy in the stuff that we love, find the joy in the people we love, find the joy in the things we love to do, and continue to wrap ourselves in that. And stop always trying to look for, oh, well, what about this? What about that? What's going to happen with this? Like, you are literally making yourself anxious. You're literally making yourself sick. You are making yourself upset. And that is what unfortunately, a lot of us in this fandom likes to do. And I'm sorry, I hate to say it like this, but there are a lot of content creators, a lot of these these platforms, and unfortunately, a lot of, because they know they're going to get that interaction. They know they're going to get that like. They know they're going to get that share. They know they're going to get it because they know that if I can say something to make you scared, if I can say something to make you mad, if I can say something to piss you off, you're going to share what I'm going to say. You're going to get me out there. You're going to get my platform more likes. You're going to get me more followers. And we are just at that point in this society where fear, where it used to be, no, what is it? All press is good press, good or bad. That is a real thing. Where especially bad press is good press now. It's like the more bad stuff you can put out, nobody wants to hear the good shit anymore. Nobody want to hear positivity anymore. Even if they were to, come out and say, we're gonna give you this, we're gonna give you that. I guarantee, or we're gonna put this toy out, or we're gonna do this, or we're gonna do that. I guarantee you, somebody's gonna find the negative in it. Boom, right away. Hey, don't like that. See, that thing has this. This thing is tied to this. See, now all of a sudden there's a negative spin on it. Just that fast. Like, we have gotten to the point, and I'm not saying that you can't have an opinion on things. I'm not saying that at all. But with stuff like this specifically, where we need to come together and we need to, be like, all right, we got each other's backs. We gonna ride this thing out together. We're gonna protect each other. We're gonna watch each other and make sure that each other is okay. And I'm not saying we have to do that physically, but also just in our own fandom, because our fandom is small. Our fandom is relatively small. We need to, as a fandom, especially some of those of us with these huge platforms, we have got to have tact, and we have got to be mindful about how we say things and how we do things, and not try to incite and enrage and rile up the people, because it's not worth it. It's just not at this point. It's not worth it. And I know probably some of y'all gonna be like, "Who you talking about, girl?" We're not getting into that, but just know, because I already know, I already can tell now. Like, you're like, "Who you talking about?" No, we're not doing all that. But at the end of the day, I just need for everybody to just breathe. Scott has already, like I said before, Scott has put out the message basically saying that Pasadena police and the FBI have already are doing their research. They are doing their investigation on this young man. Power Morphicon should be fine. And let me just say this real fast. Why do you not think that Scott is not going to be diligent in protecting us and making sure we're safe, when literally he has to make sure that the talent is also safe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I need y'all, when y'all start making baseless arguments like that, I need y'all to have the full picture. I need y'all to have the full thing. Because when y'all say, "Oh, he don't care about us, he don't care about our fans, he don't care about the attendees," do y'all not realize that the talent is going to be there too? Do you not realize the actors are going to be there? Do you not even realize that the Japanese actors who are flying here from Japan, do you not realize that they're going to be there too? So when y'all make these stupid ass arguments and you make these stupid ass comments, I just need y'all to understand. I need y'all to look at the entire picture and to just look at everything and be like, yo, I'm pretty sure he's going to probably make sure everything is safe, especially for the actors, because I'm pretty sure even if Scott was like, "Please, like, I ain't worrying about that mess," do you not know how fast some actors would have dropped? There would be no con. If Scott wasn't that diligent and was on it right away, there would be no con. So y'all have got to put on your thinking hats. Y'all have got to put on your thinking caps and just be mindful and just make good decisions, and stop being so, and stop letting people rile y'all up. Y'all just have to. What were you gonna say, Lena?
Oh no, and I was gonna say I absolutely agree, because like, more than anything, and I hate to say this, and I'm not saying this that you are not just as important, but those talents are the money makers.
Yes.
So first and foremost, he's gonna be concerned about them. So just to piggyback on that, sorry.
Well, no, and the thing is, like, I personally feel like it's equal, because if he's gonna make sure that the talent is gonna be safe, you might, like, somebody got to pay the talent. He got to make money. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh, for
also too,
sure.
I don't even think that it's even from a money standpoint. I just think that like if I know I don't know him personally, but I've talked to Scott before. Scott is a genuinely good person. Like and he means well in everything in Power Morphicon and just things in general. I personally just don't believe that Scott would even like as soon as this happened, I myself in my head think that as soon as this happened, as soon as he got word of it, Scott was on the phone with police right away. Being like, all right, y'all, this is what I see, this is what happened. What are we gonna do?
Absolutely.
You know, like that's what in my head, that's what I see him to do because that's what I know of him. But for the people in the back who are just like, oh, they don't care, they don't care, they don't care. It's like he is not just it's not just the oh they don't care about the attendees. Like he has to watch the attendees. He has to make sure that the talent is safe. Like it's everybody. It's the whole convention. And the way people are acting, it's just like, oh, he don't care if the fans get shot. Like that's stupid. Like literally, you're talking about placing not just fans, but you're talking about placing the actors in danger. And you know that's not going to happen. So it's just this whole argument of just, oh, you know, he doesn't care, is baseless and it's stupid. And the fact that you have these fans, some of these fans, just out here just throwing around this mess and running with it is just honestly, it's not just sad, but it's just like it's not just sad, it's just wrong. Like just going back to the word of the day, it's just wrong that you know some people will just like it's I don't even know why you're doing it at this point. Like, what is the purpose of you even going out and saying this stuff? You know, so that's I guess for me that's just where I am with it, honestly. But you know, hey, you know, does anyone else have anything to add? Because I think we've said everything that needs to be said.
Right.
I'm good.
Right. I'm good.
All right. So
Some fun stuff.
who?
Some fun stuff. Something nice.
Oh,
light.
child, I didn't know what you just said. I was like, what?
Yeah. I was like, wait,
I
what?
was like, huh?
But you
What?
did read my mind though, because I was thinking on to much more light, much more fun. Maybe
Right.
a little bit of
I mean, can we say that like it's kind of weird some of this stuff.
Well, I mean, this ending with the ending of this episode, I don't think this is light either, to be honest with you.
This is true. This is very true.
This is a whole lot
But
of killing going on. But
I mean, there's
you
some
know,
cringiness in there too. There's some like self-esteem there. I don't know. This episode pretty much covered it all. Like it's there might be some cheating going on. We don't even know.
We don't know.
I'm convinced at this point it's the same girl. Just saying.
Listen, I think it is. I personally think it is. But
I
you
think
know,
she pulled a whole 360 and she's like, that's me now. I am Siobhan, okay? Like she's Siobhan when she's with the Black Ranger, and she's Nina when she's with that's not really her name. I'm just making those up, just so you guys know.
But so okay, so for the people in the back who are just like, what the devil's going on? So we're talking about we are talking about Dawn Brothers, episode 8, Long Hair Captivity. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read y'all a little piece of synopsis now. Of course, like once again, I'm reading from Ranger Wiki, so you know it may not, you know, it may have some errors, but you know, bear with us. So Tsubasa helps Sononi, the white one, who is entwined by a man. Sononi is who was interested about the feeling of a human, asked Tsubasa about it, who has an important woman in his life named Natsumi. Tsubasa, who was chasing the image of his beloved, meets Tahoshi by coincidence, the two unaware of each other's identities as armed brothers, and the striking resemblance between Tahoshi's wife and Tsubasa's beloved. Tahoshi, who loves his wife, Miho, sympathizes with Tsubasa's feelings for Natsumi and invites him over to his house and eats while eat Miho's home cooking. Meanwhile, Taro encounters Sonoi, but they fail to come to terms and fight each other. So, thoughts on this episode? What did you all think?
I mean,
Shit was weird.
it was an interesting episode. You know what? I gotta say, like, I haven't seen all the other like Sentai stuff, but like I feel like this particular season in general, it's got a lot of drama and a lot of real life relatable shit. And going back to what I was saying earlier, I'm 1000% convinced it's the same girl. Nina, Siobhan, like I don't know how you transform yourself, but girl, that dinner was gonna be awkward if it happened.
Okay.
I was waiting for that dinner and I was mad that it did not happen. I was even more mad that he was like, it's okay. I don't want to look at her photo. But going forward a little bit, the way those two went on about their supposed spouse was so cringy. It was like, why are you trying to be all like, oh, well, my wife is better because of whatever. Well, my girlfriend is better because of whatever. Well, obviously, you're a shitty boyfriend because where's your girlfriend now? Like, you don't even know where she is.
Ciao.
Like, I'm just saying, you know? And how long has it been? Because, girl, I'm telling you, I'm sure it's the same girl. Nina just became Siobhan, or no, Siobhan became Nina, and she married the Pink Ranger. And I'm telling you, it's obviously long enough that she managed to get herself into a whole ass marriage. So, what did you do?
What did you do? What did you do?
Questions, you know, like so many questions. I love the, oh, well, she can cook. Well, mine can cook too. Well, mine is beautiful. Well, mine is also beautiful. Like, you know what? No one cares.
Like, there was a part that was really weird. I mean, there's quite a few of them.
Oh my god.
When we had the flashback of Kiji, he proposed to Miho and he was yelling at her when he did it. You remember that?
Yes.
What the hell was that?
That's just listen, I've watched a lot of Japanese TV, and normally the guys that are, you know, really just not really all that confident, they kind of like to, you know, do things, you know, like to overcome their fear and just, you know, or overcome their shyness or whatever. They just scream it like, here you go, like, you know, just to kind of like just get it out instead of just like saying it under their breath, like, here you go. Like they, you know, they have to scream it to overcome their anxiety, I guess.
I mean, that's a very aggressive take on handling your
on a
problems
proposal. On a proposal. Marry me!
Basically, yes.
Obviously, she had no choice. She needs to blink twice if she needs help.
Okay, because homegirl, I'm pretty sure was like, this man is probably gonna hurt me if I say no.
Oh, but there was a part in the beginning with the star of the show, Haruka. She when she's working, she sees this customer sitting at a table drawing, and then she assumes that he's drawing her without her consent. So she asks her boss for permission to tell him off, basically. So she goes over there and says, I don't appreciate you drawing me without my consent. And then she sees that he's not actually drawing her. and he gets frustrated because he doesn't have a model to for
Amuse.
him to draw.
Amuse.
And yeah. So then, first and foremost, Haruka is salty as hell because he's not drawing her. Then when after she realizes that he wasn't drawing her, then she's like, oh well, I'll be your model. Like, weren't you just like not feeling
Mm,
that? Like that.
It was more, I think it was more of like a what's it call it? Like a she's power tripping, if that makes sense. Like she likes the idea of her being in control of saying yes or no. That's the vibe I got from her, where she likes to be like, she wants to be she I don't know. I think the best way I can explain is like if it's her idea, it's a great idea. If that
listen,
Well, he wasn't with it because he just walked away.
Oh yeah.
like
I love how all these men in her life just walks away or kicks her.
here's my thing,
Wow.
and what really make me just like be like, girl, WTF? Like, first of all, you are literally basically like, I mean, she was ready to give him the smoke. Like, she was really ready to like go to this man's ass, and literally like goes to find out like he doesn't want to paint you, and now it's like, or he doesn't want to draw you, and now you're like, well, do you want to draw me instead? Like, do you want to draw me? And it's like, you were literally going to give this man the smoke. Now you're like, oh, well, do you want to draw me? And then he walks away, and you're looking like, well, bye. And it's like, well, what did you expect? Like, did you really expect him to be like, yeah, I'll draw you even though you were about to cuss me out? Like, no. Like, girl, like, I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, and I love this about the show when it deals with Haruka in general. I love the fact that Haruka is constantly like, and not saying that I like the fact that she's the butt of every joke, but I really like the fact that she literally is like, she gets a lot more to do. And like a lot of stuff is seen through her lens. And we know exactly what kind of person she is. Like, we know exactly what kind of person she is. She is a huge attention seeker. Like, she wants everything to be about her. She loves the limelight. And it's like, and she's selfish. She's extremely selfish. And it was just like, and she wants everything to be about her. I love that. Honestly, like, I actually love that a lot. I like that about her. And I also like that throughout this show, like, she's been learning more and more how to give up that control so far. Like, I actually do like that. Like, there's been a couple times that she's learned valuable lessons where it's like, you know what? Maybe I could tone this down a little bit. Maybe I could learn from this kind of a thing. So I really do. I like her character more than what I thought, more than what I liked initially. Because initially I didn't really care for her. But now I'm like, I actually like her. Like, what do you think about the characters thus far? Like, how have your opinions changed from the characters from before to now?
Okay, well, I do agree with you with the yellow. I do definitely like her. Like, I do like the fact that she's learning it and it's like baby step. And I like that's not like overnight where she's like, ta-da, I'm a brand new person. She definitely has her moments and it makes it, enjoyable. Low cringy, but enjoyable. However, I feel like with the pink, for me, he just keeps getting worse and worse by the second.
Yeah.
Like,
Really?
yeah, like I just cannot
Something
stand.
wrong with that motherfucker.
Yeah, like even the blue. I'm not a big fan of the blue. The blue, like he,
Some
ugh.
something. Oh my god, something's wrong with all these people.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Honestly,
that's
the
why they were
only
chosen,
one,
I'm sure. All of
the
them, all of
only
them have
one,
problems.
the only one that I really like is Black. I
I
feel
like
like
black.
Hmm.
I really do
I,
also like Momotaro. Sorry. Go on.
oh God. I feel like there's I feel like there's for Black this whole thing with him being an outlaw basically. I I'm looking forward to finding out what happened exactly. But other than that, like he seems like a pretty normal guy. He's just, on the low, hiding from the police. But I like him so far the most out of everyone.
I Here's the thing. Well, for me, I think the one I like the most out of everybody, I agree, is Black. But I don't hate Pink. I genuinely don't. I don't hate him. For me, the one that is the lowest for me at right now is Blue. Blue is the lowest for me only because of the fact that it's like we don't know him that much yet. We
Hmm.
just know him as the guy who has a big imagination, has no job, and he's always giving us a haiku. That's all we know. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all we know
Mhm.
about him. We don't know anything about him yet. So it's just like okay, like we know he's gonna give us a haiku, and we know that he's going to like be like, "Ooh, I have no money, so I think money is bad. So let me make up things and use my imagination." And it's just like, okay, boy, whatever. But
Yeah, I don't hate Pink either, but it seems like there's a degradation deg- degradation of his character with each episode. Like this one, like he's the way we end it, it's like what the hell?
actually, I
Ah,
love the way we ended it. Oh, we'll get there. Well, actually, let's talk about it. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Since you brought it
well,
up, let's talk about it. But go ahead.
well, I guess we should start with what happened to his wife. Um,
Well,
at
I mean,
some point,
we can just bounce
but
around. You don't have to have any structure, but
so
however
his
you want to do it. Go ahead.
Miho, his wife, is kidnapped by the artist from earlier, and the artist from earlier, because of his frustrations of not having a muse, he turns into a monster. So, he kidnaps her and threatens to kill her if she tries to escape. And he does all this while still in human form, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then she can. I don't know how the hell this worked. She convinced the artist to allow her to give him a haircut, and she used the hair that she cut to bind him, shoved him over, and hauled ass and got out of there. So whenever Kiji brother, whenever he found out that what had happened to his wife, it like he just like his whole demeanor changed. Like he was just like it was the only thing to do was to save his wife, and at any means possible. So oh God, what I took some notes. I'm reading over them, my bad. Um oh, okay. So towards the end of the episode, Kiji brother, he stops Mamotaro's attack of um of the artist, which like it would have, I'm assuming, like knocked that spirit out of him, and he would have gone back to being human, and would have gone back, to his life. Um but he stopped that, and then he allowed the Blue Warrior, the bad guy, whose name is escaping me, not our
Sonoy.
Blue Ranger, but the Blue Warrior. He allowed him to kill the artist. Yeah, so Kiji brother, he actually allowed the Blue Warrior to kill the artist. And I was under the assumption that with every episode that the person that is dealing with some sort of internal crisis that the monster kind of latches onto and they turn into a monster. And
Mm-hmm.
then obviously they the Rangers will defeat the monster, which will knock the spirit out of them, and then they'll just go on to be like their human self again. But
Well, yes,
mhm.
yes. But the only thing is, like, the thing is, they're not under any kind of control. Basically, their desires manifest into these creatures. So it's still him. So even if he was to return back to his normal self, he was still going to be a creep.
Really, I didn't. Wow,
Yeah.
really? In the 8 episodes, I didn't take it that way.
Well,
Wow.
let me change that. Maybe he probably wouldn't have been. I don't know. To be truthfully honest, like that's actually a good point. I don't know if he would have or not, but regardless, Kiji brother was like, no, don't save him.
Yeah,
And
so that
do
was wow.
okay, and that's the question I wanted to ask. Do we think that that was right or not? For him to
I
allow Sonoe to go ahead and kill him?
I I don't think so. Just because, like I said, like I was under the assumption that just because the the villain of the week, they're not really a villain. They're just going through something internally that causes them to, get targeted by the monster and turn into the monster. But then once the monster is defeated, they just go back to being a human. So, like, if that's the case, I don't believe that that was the right thing to do. But if what you're saying about this man being just a bad person in general, he did threaten to kill Miho. So on second thought, maybe it was the right thing to do.
I mean,
Now I'm
but
conflicted.
but the thing is, who are we to play devil's advocate? Is that the right word for it? Like,
Well,
I don't
no,
know.
who would have played judge and jury? Because devil's
Exactly.
Mhm.
advocate is saying that you're gonna oppose what he's gonna say. Well, be
Oh,
on the other
okay.
side of what he's gonna say.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I meant.
Mhm.
Because like at the end of the day, even though he did threaten her, I felt like was I felt like for he's Kiji, right? Like the penguin, he's Kiji brother.
Mm-hmm, Kiji,
I
yeah.
Yeah.
felt like he only did that because it was his wife. If it wasn't his
Mhm.
wife, I don't think he would have made the same decision.
Right. I
I
agree
agree.
with that.
Absolutely.
So like
Absolutely.
very selfish of him. And I think overall, like we don't know if he was actually because the thing is we don't know to what level. We have yet to learn when does the possession start, where they turn them into monsters, right? So we don't actually even
Mhm.
know at this point how deep in he was. Because like when we were
Mhm.
introduced to him, he was already like in this weird, like, I need to find a muse. I need to find that muse. And
Mhm.
obviously they're making me hold like the most beautiful girl on the show, apparently. Like,
Mhm.
I
Well,
yeah, no.
I think that the possession, well, not possession, because I don't think we can call it a possession, but I guess manifestation is the better word. The
Okay.
manifestation of the monster happened. Basically, the manifestation happened when right before he saw Miho. So that meant him manifesting in that creature that ultimately became the thing or whatever. That ultimately became the monster of the day. That that manifestation made his desire that much more to kidnap Miho.
Yes.
But before that, he was already a creep anyway.
Right.
So that desire and stuff was already there, but
Right.
it manifested, which made him even go much further
Right.
to kidnap Miho and threaten her life.
True.
So I guess for me, it's like on one hand, I can see the duality here. I can see where it's like, no, that's not okay. Because at the end of the day, he's still a person, and like, who are you to, judge whether or not someone needs to die or not? I understand that argument, But also, it also teeters that edge of if we have the ability to stop somebody who we know is, you know what I'm saying, who we know is a danger, and we're like, I have a split second to decide whether or not I want to save this person or not. Even though I know they tried to wreak havoc or they tried to hurt someone very close to me or hurt someone that I love. Now, granted, also, let's be very clear. Sahoshi, I believe that's Kiki brother. Yeah, Sahoshi. Sahoshi is batshit out of his mind because at the end we see old boy is willing to kill anybody that goes near this woman. So we know he's batshit.
That
we
freaked
know
me
this.
the hell out.
Exactly.
We know he's batshit, but at the same time, like just without him being a complete psychopath, without that, still it's like there's still an argument there because it's like if we know that there is someone that we care about, their life is in danger, and you know that hey, there's a split chance where this person could probably either die or live. What chance would you take? Like which one would you do? Would you let them die or would you save them? Would you go the high road and save them, or would you let whomever wants to take them out take them out? You know, and honestly, I'm kind of stuck. To be truthfully honest, I'm not on Sihoshi's level where I'm like, I'm batshit crazy about somebody. But if, say, for example, somebody was trying to kill my mama, you know what I'm saying? Because I love my mama. Not like Sahoshi, not how he loved his wife, but I do love my mom. And if somebody was out here trying to kill my mama, but then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, they're faced with a life or death situation, I don't know if I would save them or not. So I personally can't say I would save them. I can't say that I wouldn't save them. I don't know.
I have a question. I wonder what's gonna go down once the Black Ranger discovers that Miho is really his girlfriend. And that's gonna be
that's my thing.
Oh, that's gonna be an interesting episode.
That's my
really
question.
Think that they're the same woman?
I'm 1,000% convinced it's the same woman.
Same.
Think about it. Think about it. Like, why with the way they played it out? They're like, after they did a bunch of comparison, like, they let out he was like, oh, do you want to see a photo of her? And he's like, no, it's fine. I'll meet the real her, like it's just sort of like leading into that, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Oh, they're definitely telling us they're the same woman. Like they're definitely letting us know, like, this is definitely the same woman. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So it looks like a different girl.
It's called different.
They do?
Style.
No. They look like the same girl, Will.
It's the same girl, Will. They just changed her look. They changed her hair. They changed her makeup.
That's how they did.
They changed her clothes.
Maybe that's why.
It's kind of like,
because that's definitely the same girl.
Do you remember The Ringer when Buffy, Sarah Michelle Gellar had to play?
Oh yeah,
it was like that. It's literally like Siobhan. That's why that was her name in the show too.
Oh, Siobhan and Bridget.
Yeah, see, I was like, I'm surprised you catch on. That's why I came with Chiffon.
I didn't at all.
Wow, Will.
And I love that show.
Will is Lost Part 2.
That was obscure.
Will is Lost Part 2, yes. I'm surprised you didn't catch on that. That's why I kind of did it that way, because I'm like, oh, it's like The Ringer. I just remember the other girl's name, and then obviously Miho sounded like Bridget. Yeah, see, there you go, Siobhan and Bridget. So we have, in my eyes, Bridget is married to the Pink Ranger, and Siobhan is the one that was dating the Black Ranger. So spicing it up.
So wait a minute. Do you think it's actually the same woman, or you think they would do twins?
No, I think it's the same woman.
I think it's the same woman. I think it's the same woman.
I don't even think they're twins, because if they're twins, then he would have definitely known about the fact that she had a sister, or she had a sister, or had.
Unless it's a Parent Trap situation.
I
Well,
mean,
yeah, that's a good point.
that's a good point. That
I wouldn't put anything past this damn show. This shit is weird.
I feel like it's the same person just because I feel like the Parent Trap situation would be more complicated to explain in a sense that like, well, where is she now? You know, where is Bridget now? Like we're calling her Bridget. I don't really know her name. Where is she now, right? Like why is he searching for her kind of thing? And he longs for her, but they have no communication with each other. So it just doesn't make sense either, right? Because we are in 2022. It's not like we have to do snail mail situation, right? So that doesn't make sense either. So my thing is like what happened to her? Because it seems like from his side of the story, they've been separated for a while.
Right. Right.
Like whatever that separation means. Like I don't know if that means they've broken up or he left. Like we don't know, right? But we just know that they have not been together for a while. That's all we know. And I'm 1,000% convinced because Pink Ranger just met his wife and then married her right away.
Right.
They dated for like 3 months.
He was like, I'm putting a ring on this quick.
Yeah. Yeah, like they dated really short. It was like a very short situation. They got married. So like I think it was like I think it was like 2 or 3 months, right? Friend, I'm not sure if
I think so. Yeah,
it was
like a very short period
short.
of time.
Yeah, it was very short. So in 2 or 3 months, like anything could happen. Will like come on. Siobhan was like, I moved on. I'm becoming Bridget, or which one did I say was? I don't even know now.
Yeah, that's how it was.
Oh my
This
god.
is I just I oh my god, it was the way that just the way that he the whole monologue he had in his head about protecting his wife and like I think he was smiling too.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I
Like
said this mug is batshit. Like he's definitely crazy. Like I don't put it past this guy. Like he's crazy. Like something's wrong with him. And that goes back to what we were saying earlier about how there's some like the whole team is like they're all dysfunctional. Every last one of them. Like every team member has something wrong with them. So it's just like
oh man.
it's just weird. Like nobody's perfect on his team. Like they are all crazy people.
There was another part in here with my favorite member, Mamotaro. He caught some thugs trying to steal his van, and then it turned into a physical situation when Sonoy, that's the Blue Warrior, right?
Yep.
He intervened and he attacked the thugs. But of course, Mamo has no idea that that's the Blue Warrior. Does he know that Mamo is the Red Ranger?
Nope.
Or okay, so they don't know each other's secret identity, but Sonoy he wants well actually like, before we get that, when they were talking, Momotaro had the nerve to tell Sonoy that he or the gang. So he told somebody he doesn't hit people. And then when he said that shit, I'm like, you kick your team's ass at the end of every episode. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, that's only when he becomes Don Momotaro. When he's regular Taro,
he's
he
not
doesn't
the
hurt
same
anybody.
person.
They are he is the same person, but his avatar when he becomes when Taro becomes Momotaro, that's when he becomes the outlandish, guy who be beating up on his teammates and all this
So
stuff.
that's
But when he's
not
regular
just him.
Taro, no, when he's regular Taro, he doesn't hit people. Like each one of them have like when he transforms, like he gets a completely different personality.
And it's not like that for the other team members.
No. Only him.
Fuck? Okay. All right. Okay. So all right. So Sonoy he tries to get Momotaro to join with his crew. and I can't remember if Mama if he straight up said no or if they just like left it there. Do you remember?
Uh, well, no, he laughed at him because he did that, and he was like, no,
Wow.
I can't do that terrible laugh, but like, he's like, absolutely not, like, I'm not joining you.
So now I'm looking forward to seeing them figure out who each other are because they know each other in like their two different lives, but they're just unaware. You know, that's
Now,
interesting.
here's my thing because like I enjoyed that. Excuse me, sorry. I
Bless
enjoyed
you.
that. Thank you. I enjoyed that moment where I love that moment where they had that where they were doing that trying to save those people in that fire. And
Mm.
I love the fact that they worked together and they used their powers at the same time but away from each other to save the people. And then came back and were like, hey, like, they're back in their human forms. And then they're just like, they saved the people. But one thing that I really loved about these two and their relationship is there's something very, now I know people probably gonna be like, what the fuck? But there's something very queer about their camaraderie because it's the little slight smirk from Taro for me. Because like like for a case in point, when Sonoi helped him stop the guys from stealing the van, Sonoi was like, you're pretty strong. You could have defeated them by yourself if you wanted. You didn't need me. And he was just like, well, I don't hit people. And he gave his whole reasoning for, why all this, his whole philosophy and everything. And Sonoy was like, oh, cool. So there's already kind of like this interest that he's taking with Taro and how Taro's kind of like smiling. And it's just, there's something very, I don't know. For me, it just feels a little queer. A little queer. I mean, of course, also like, these are Japanese people and they have their own, culture and, their own sets of rules. But for me, it's just like I would love to see a little relationship develop between the good guy and the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I would love it. Like I'm like, ooh. But I'm wondering, like, who would be the top and who would be the bottom? But anyway, or if they both
Wow.
verse, I don't know. But anyway,
Wow.
but but I would like to see more of this relationship come up. And what would happen if they find out, who each other are, kind of a thing, because like Sonoi already made it clear that he can't stand people who overindulge in their desires, basically. And that, that falls right in line with the evil blue guy that Don Momotaro has been fighting all this time. So it's going to be really interesting to see once they find out like who each other are. It's going to be real interesting. But yeah. Any other
Mm.
thoughts from this episode?
Um. Okay, yeah. This was random. This was super random. It was Saru brother, the Blue Ranger. He made a brief appearance early on in the episode. He morphed to retrieve a kid's balloon,
Mm-hmm.
but he finds out that the kid wanted the balloon to drift off into the sky. But like he morphed in front of the kid, so it's like so they don't protect their secret identities. I
Child,
guess.
the way I feel is just kind of like I feel like they don't really get they just do whatever. They make their own rules. Because sometimes it kind of feels like they're like, yeah, you know, sometimes it kind of feels like, yeah, we're all about protecting our identities, and then sometimes it's like, we don't really give a shit.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. And we got to see the what's the girl named Sonani? The
So no,
with the
so no, so no, no.
Sononi. So no, okay. Yeah, we got to see her and, in her horrible shoes.
Child looking like somebody nurse. Like, girl.
And that was another like that was weird. It's an interesting way to use her. So she was sitting and flirting with a random dude who was totally enamored by her, and he declared her his love for her, and then she called him boring and walked away.
Yeah,
And then
basically.
and then the Black Ranger Inu brother, he stopped the dude from trying to hit on her, and then they had an interaction. Uh, the White Warrior, I do not know how to say it. Sinono, say it again. Sinono,
Sononi.
Sononi. So her and Black Ranger had an interaction, and it was interesting because I believe he was talking about love, and then she just doesn't grasp it.
Yeah, that's her thing. She doesn't grasp, like she doesn't understand love. Like
Mhm.
all of them have their own little thing that they don't understand. Hers is she doesn't understand love.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so that was we actually got a good chunk of the cast in this episode, but like there were like really little parts for people that weren't the Black and Pink Rangers. But I mean, I guess it's weird as hell, but I'm interested to see if we'll evolve these characters, like if there's any growth for them. And then I'm also interested in seeing whenever the Don brothers and the Evil Crew, like when they find out who each other are, I think that'll be interesting. And also to see the Don brothers really become a team. And old boy in the digital world, whose name is escaping me. Like I want to see more of him. We haven't seen him in maybe an episode or two. So I'm looking forward to seeing him and that more of that world as well. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely excited to see what could, what could go on, well, what could go further in this world because I mean, to be truthfully honest with you, this show has so much going on.
a lot.
So, it's one of those things where it's like it's exciting. It's really exciting to see where this show can go and like what they're gonna do because we know it's gonna be a lot. It's going to be a lot. But let's go ahead and rate this and tell the people what we think of this episode. How do you want to rate it? I'm gonna give it a child. I think I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. This is actually one of my most favorite episodes, honestly.
I'm with you, Brendan. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 because I felt like it was just theatrical. There was so much happening.
Yeah.
In a good way. Like so many little storyline. But yeah, 4 out of 5.
Wow. I'm giving it a 3. It wasn't like it was like middle of the God. It was I don't want to say middle of the road, which that rating pretty much is. I
I
thought
was
it
gonna
was
say it kind of is.
I thought it was decent. It wasn't like amazing, but you know what? A three is. I'll give it a 3.5.
Wow.
It was a lots of character stuff for like a lot of different characters, which I
Yeah.
appreciated, and it got me intrigued to see, how they're going to explore these things with these different characters. And like I said before, hopefully we'll see some sort of development in like a final form for everybody by the end of the season. But it's piqued my interest for sure. So I give it a 3.5.
Okay, that's fair. That is fair. So yeah, if you all agree with our, with our opinions of this episode, or if you disagree, I don't know, but or you have any comments or anything like that about what we talked about tonight, please let us know. We will be more than glad to definitely, hold space, and like have the conversation. Like, listen, honestly, there's a lot, even though these are two topics, we did spend a lot of time, which we already kind of knew we were going to go over anyway. But, like, we like to talk. But, I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you got some pretty good insight and you got some understanding, and, make decisions on your own for yourself. That is the one thing that I want to stress to all of our listeners. I just want to before we go, just impart some knowledge to you all. Continue to be diligent on what you allow, what energies you allow, what opinions you invite into your space and into your mind. Use discernment. Protect yourselves, and not just protect yourselves physically, but protect yourselves mentally, protect yourselves emotionally. And just continue to exercise. Just continue to exercise just good mental health for yourself. Good mental practices, good things to help minimize stress, minimize anxiety, and just try to make the best decision for yourself. Whether that means, going to Morphicon and having a good time, or not going, and being content with that. But overall, make good decisions for you. And please, if you're going to advocate for yourself. And it's okay to advocate for others, but also make sure that you are always protecting yourself and watching and making sure that everybody around you is okay as well. Okay, y'all. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Well, fun episode, everybody. Make sure y'all tune in to us next week, because we're going to be talking again. And and hopefully we got some more to talk about, Once again, my name is Brandon.
My name is Lena.
And my name is Will.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.